Good afternoon, Richard. Nice to have you here.
Good afternoon.
Just want to have a discussion with you, on the journey that P&T has had with John Keells Properties over the years. I'm thinking it's probably over 20 years since you've been working with John Keells Properties.
Exactly. I think over 20 years.
Yes.
Our association with John Keells Property started, I think, in the year 2004. It started with the Monarch, and then we went on to design Emperor together with John Keells, and then we went on to do 7 Sense, and the latest development was TRI-ZEN.
TRI-ZEN, yeah. So just talk me through a little bit about the thinking behind Monarch, which was the first development that John Keells did with you. And I think that was as soon as we took over Asian Hotels and Properties, and we were new to the real estate game as well. So I think the management, the brief at the time was that we wanted to again create this kind of mixed use development with the Cinnamon Grand Hotel, and Monarch was something that had already been conceptualized by the previous company that owned Asian Hotels. So just talk us a little bit through that, what the kind of thinking was from John Keells, what the kind of ambitions were at that time for a project like Monarch.
Colombo at that time is a very different Colombo than now. Yeah, so there were not many development in Colombo then. So Monarch is one of the first development that explore this kind of mixed development together with Cinnamon Grand and that area. So the John Keells Properties vision at that time is to sort of take the first step to design something that is modern and that can offer the residents of Colombo something that is sophisticated and in fact providing them with comfort and so on. So that was the first step that we have done.
And then we moved on to the Emperor straight after. So all a part of this whole compound at Crescat City. So talk us a little bit in terms of design, the design difference between Monarch and the Emperor, because the Emperor was more of a glass facade that you went for. So if you can just talk us through the thinking behind that, Richard.
So when we did Monarch, we were not so adventurous yet, so there's not so much glass. But when we went to do Emperor, the world has changed a little bit, so we explore into a largely glass facade building with view on many sides. So it's a bit of a panoramic view development. So Emperor was a more adventurous development compared to Monarch.
Sure, because I mean even today you go to a unit at Emperor, you have stunning views of the sea, you've got the cityscape on one side, and all of that is also because of the floor-to-ceiling glass that you have. So
exactly.
Uninterrupted views around, right? And then straight after, I think somewhere around 2011-12 was when we conceptualized 7 Sense, because John Keells wanted to go into this kind of super luxury space in a highly residential area of Gregory's Road, which it was known at the time, right opposite the Australian High Commission. A lovely piece of land, just 1 acre. And, again, there was height restrictions on that road because it's a special primary zone. So you had only a limited number of floors that you can work with, ground plus 5. Again, we put 66 apartments there. I think it was a mix of 2, 3 and 4 bedroom units. I remember the 2s starting at about 1,200 square feet and the 4 bedroom penthouses going up to about 3,700, close to 4,000 square feet. Again, really nice views around. The way you designed it, we'll get into the design of it, but for me, that experience of walking through a 7 Sense unit, everyone thought the premium units were the units facing the grounds, right? But for me, the premium units were the ones facing the road, because the units on level 2, 3 and 4, all you see looking from your room or from your living room is the canopy of the trees. And that was something that was very unique for Colombo. And that project sold out so fast. So just talk me through that design, Richard.
Yeah, 7 Sense is obviously quite a unique development. is low rise, and is actually situated in an area that has a lot of trees, a lot of green. Yeah, as you rightly mentioned, yeah, the view looking from the unit towards the green is a very fantastic view. The unit were large, so we have designed the unit to be luxurious. So actually 7 Sense is one of the development that I really like, and it's very unique. Yeah, and the development is in such a dense vegetated area that I couldn't even take a good picture of the external. You know, you have to get a drone to get a good picture. So, so through all this development, we have learned quite a few things, and we have also applied some of these things on TRI-ZEN and on your future development.
Yeah, I mean, TRI-ZEN is something that I can clearly recall, because I was in that meeting room ready to hear about the 500 unit development that we were planning. And then you come up with this design and you're like, you know, we have a second version of this. It's 890, at that time it was 891 apartments. We ended up with 897. And I just thought to myself, how on earth are we going to sell this many units in the heart of the city? Because apartment living was kind of just taking off at the time. But I think your thinking there was, you know, this kind of densification and this type of model has worked in places like Singapore. So you've seen more mature markets going through this. So just talk me through, you know, of course, introducing these compact units is one thing, but through the design thinking of TRI-ZEN.
So for TRI-ZEN, again, it is unique by itself compared to the rest of the development. It is in a dense, densely populated area with quite a high building control. So the height of the building is actually quite tall, and then we have actually packing in a lot of unit into 3 towers. Okay, so for that, knowing and having done works in several countries with high density living, we know that actually we are able to pack in so many units, and then by having the unit in a certain size, so the selling price will be within a certain affordable range, actually the development can sell, and in reality it has proven that it's a successful development.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and then if you have so many units, we will need to provide enough amenity facilities for the residents. So that's actually how we have designed the development.
Yeah, and I mean, today when you walk through TRI-ZEN, you see almost 70-80% of the units being occupied, and you see, you know, you walk in, there's a cafe right at the entrance, and then you go through the E-deck, you've got 2 swimming pools, you've got 2 gymnasiums, one on the E-deck, one on the rooftop, and then you've got, you know, this lush green space on the E-deck on the 11th floor, right up on the 11th floor. And coming back to the name TRI-ZEN, so when you gave us this design, we were trying to coin, you know, what's this kind of development going to be called? And that's when we really thought of, okay, it's 3 towers, but there's this kind of Zen aspect to it, which is that whole greenery and the lush space on the 11th floor that you've created. And anyone going there today, it's a half a kilometer jogging track that we have right on the 11th floor. So you have kids play areas, something for the teens with playstations, games rooms. Then you've got a badminton court that you put up there, plus multiple function rooms. So it was really to kind of enhance this community living aspect in the heart of the city. And that's what you kind of envisioned when you designed this, right?
And learning from TRI-ZEN, we will also apply the same principle to your future development.
Yes.
Yeah. And so what we can learn from TRI-ZEN is that the amenity and the facility where the community can come together to enjoy the living together, that's very important. So they need to be comfortable, they need to have enough facility for their family and for their friends.
So Richard, we are very excited to be launching our 5th project that we're doing with P&T, and that is Vauxhall District by John Keells Properties. And, you know, again, through everything that you've done in terms of design on all our previous projects, there's lots of learnings you've taken from there, like you said, that you'll be applying to this development as well. And this is right on Vauxhall Street, with stunning views across. You've got the Barrier Lake view, you've got the city view, and just in terms of product proposition, something that's coming at the right price point, at the right sizes, very efficient flow areas as well. So maybe you can just talk us through a little bit about this as well, Richard.
I think Vauxhall DSTRCT by itself again is unique. Out of the 5 developments that we have done with you, Vauxhall is the only one with a large waterfront.
That's right.
It's at a very prominent site in the city center with access from many, the front and the back, and with waterfront on one side. And in fact, the development is quite a high-rise development. You can also see waterfront from all the way to the opposite end of it. So for Vauxhall, what we have done is that obviously we have designed the development, the unit in the appropriate size. Okay, we have tried to make the layout very efficient. Living dining room wide and with good cross ventilation. We have positioned the development so that the units are not overlooking each other, but yet they all have good panoramic view towards the lake, towards the city view. So we are very excited, to look at how this development will fare, and we're very excited to get it built and to see what is the final product.
And we are very excited to be having P&T joining us for this, and we are very confident that Vauxhall DSTRCT will do very well and will transform the city of Colombo. Like we've done with all our previous projects, everything we do is of significant national importance. And at John Keells Properties, we transformed the skyline of Colombo and will continue to do that for the years to come. Thank you very much, Richard.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.